Business Entrepreneur Series. I am your host, Corey Fonville Foster, and I'm super excited because I have an old new friend with me. We've met before and we had a great time on his podcast, but he's here with me today, Mr. Noah Mittman of, I have to remember the name. I'm struggling here.
You got
Snowman Films. There we go.
Snowman
right?
Films. That's right. Snowman. Yep.
That's so cool. I'm super excited that you were here today. I had such an amazing time on your podcast. I felt
thank you.
Yeah, we were like old friends, just chumming it up, having a good conversation. So I was excited to see you were on today. How have you been?
I've been good. It's I've been enjoying the podcast game. I'm as of recording this, I'm about to go into the Podfest like event series to try and kind of get some more guests and do some networking, and just getting some client work back and chugging along.
Awesome. You are freaking cool, man. I love it. I was looking at the things because for people who are not in the podcast world, a lot of times we do a little pre-questions. And I love that when I looked at your pre-questions, you said you were a ninja warrior. Like, what the world? I was like, that's so cool. Like, I already thought you were cool. But then I was like, wow, he's like a really cool.
That's a good question, though. Is like something that not many people know. And I always like to drop that one in there because I was on Ninja Warrior for 3 seasons, and I got featured once, I believe, but it's because I was a parkour athlete for like 10 years, and I still actually do some parkour editing, and I want to get back to the gym a little bit, but I just had seen so many friends on the show, and I just tried out and got on, and it was crazy.
Yeah, me and my son like to watch all of them go and do their stuff, and we're like, wow. I'm like, I could never. First of all, I can't do a pull-up, so holding on to stuff and they jump.
It's all upper body. That's why the climbers do so well, because it's all like everybody who has won has been a very avid like rock climber.
Yeah, see, no, push-ups are still hard for me.
Yeah. No. And now I'm to the point with all the working out over the year and like doing the athlete thing that I need to work out for my mental health. Like I have to sweat to like feel good.
Yeah, I want to be you then, man. I have a whole set of like gym type equipment right in my living room, thinking, okay, it's there, I'll see it. When I tell you things are still in the boxes, I haven't done anything. I feel so bad. I'm like, I want to work out, I think, but yeah.
I have to knock it out first thing in the morning, otherwise it doesn't get done. Okay. So that's what I sweat in the morning, and I just it's hard no matter what. Like it's just because you don't want to do it sometimes, but I know how I feel afterwards, and it's worth it.
Okay, look, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna think of
you got it.
I do. But that is so cool. Now I'm thinking like, wow, you must be a strong guy. That's pretty cool.
I don't know. Not compared to the people that win it, but I was at least I never made it to final rounds, but I hit one buzzer on my first season, and then I actually did course testing in Vegas. We were like a bunch of people would go out and test out the course to make a bunch of ninjas would go to make sure that the course was hard enough or doable enough for the actual show. So that was super fun. Just getting to course test and hang out with everybody in Vegas.
That's so cool. I would be right in the water immediately. Immediately jump off the.
I have to be fair. 90% of my runs have ended up in the water. So
okay. So we're about the same then. Yeah. Well, let's get into it. I want to tell people about Snowman Films. Tell us, how did you get into business?
Yeah, man, I've been a filmmaker since high school. I was kind of the kid that didn't have the best time in high school, and like my perfect Saturday would be like getting on my bike, ride over to Blockbuster, get 3 movies, watch them, come back, black out the living room and just watch all 3 movies back to back. And I remember seeing the behind the scenes featurette for The Matrix back in the day, and just seeing like, oh my God, like there's a bunch of people on set and there's so much cool stuff happening. There's like this helicopter on the side of a building. Like that would be the coolest job ever. And then I like kind of started freaking out, and I was like, I need to make stuff. And I got a camera for a little Sony Handycam for my next birthday, and started there, and was able to turn pro. So that was 2006-ish, 2007. And then by 2012, I was able to found Snowman Films and become professional with it, and been rolling ever since. And now it's kind of carried over into the course creation and content. Obviously, it's the features are still the dream. I've worked on a couple features, but the internet content and the kind of creativity there's just so much freedom with what you can make. And there's no, you have to get it produced and you have to build a whole budget for it. You can just make stuff. So that's been really cool. And then translating it to coaching other people on not only filming and editing their course, but kind of the whole process of creating courses. Cause that's kind of been the study for the last couple of years for me. And it's been a blast, and I'm still doing a bunch of freelance work with Snowman, and it's rolling along, but I get to create and make cool shit every day, which is fun.
I love it. It was so funny when you said Blockbuster. I was like, there's someone.
Oh yeah, that'll date me a little bit, but
remember you had to rewind the videos when
okay, so that you were actually a little bit earlier because I was getting DVDs.
Oh, sorry, I'm old. Okay,
but I remember VHSs. I remember the Be Kind Rewind.
Yes.
Yeah.
You had to rewind it. Oh my God, I would be so mad if you didn't rewind. Oh my goodness. Yes, I was like, Blockbuster, wow.
And that was the early days of Netflix was DVDs too. I remember my mom getting, like, we'd have like our stack of 3 DVDs from Netflix in the early days.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I remember them having them. But I
before it was a streaming service, they sent they'd mail DVDs to houses.
Wow. Oh God, I learned something new every day. But that's interesting. And I think that when, because I have kiddos in the house, I think it's so important as a parent to like watch what your kids are interested in and kind of help them along, because like filmmaking is not cheap. You can,
Oh yeah, no, 100%. But I have invested so much money in gear over the years. I mean, that's really, that's the entrepreneur thing is like, I started the production company, and I started, I've done very strategic, like, I had the handy cam, and then I got one job, and they were like, we can either, we can pay you. And I was like, you know what, how much are you going to pay me? Because what we could do is I really want this new camera. It was back then, it was the Canon Rebel series was like the hot thing. Yes. And I was like, you can either pay me or you can just get me a Rebel T3i and I can use it on the job. So I kind of upgraded as I went, but now I've probably put 10 grand into equipment over the years.
Yes, I remember everyone on YouTube talking about the Rebel series.
Yep. I got 2 of them right here. I still got them. They're like my backup cameras if my main one stops working.
What camera are you using now?
I have here. I'll show you. Anybody watching on video, you'll be able to see this. It's a Sony A7 III.
Oh, that's pretty.
With a Canon lens on it. I got to get a Sony lens because the autofocus doesn't work quite as well with the Canon lens because it has to like communicate between brands. Great camera.
As my husband, I was like, I really want to be able to take more pictures because I'm in marketing, and I was like, I need to be able to take product photos and take more pictures of myself. And I said, I don't want to have to go out and pay a photographer every time, but I need a quality camera. Mm-hmm. And I remember being like, I just want, it's not going to cost too much. And we went to the store, and it was like, oh, it's just, $500, $600.
Yeah. No, and it's funny too, because that's some of the training that I give. I'll let people know, like, hey, unless you're willing to spend, call it honestly like $1,500 on a camera, your phone is fine to start with, especially now with, I have the iPhone 11 or the iPhone, I have the 11, the 12 is out currently. The reason that phone costs so much, one of them is that the cameras and the lenses on it are really good. And that's part of what you're paying for. So you've essentially paid for $1,000 camera with that phone. So again, so that costed about 1,500. My last camera was the Sony. I've been a Sony guy for a while now because they're doing really cool stuff. But Canon is definitely stepping the game up. My last camera was a Sony FS700, and I paid I think like 3,500 for that. So you're putting some serious money down at that point, and that's even the low end of what cameras get to. Like the cameras that shoot the Oscar winners and like Avengers and stuff, those are hundreds of thousands of dollars of camera. Like they're crazy, but you see, I mean, they're gorgeous, obviously.
Yes. And then I was sad. I was like, I thought we were vibing, and then you're like, you have an Apple. I was like, no, not an iPhone. I'm a Droid.
I'm proud. I'm proud Apple. Proud Apple. Since day one.
I guess I'll have to forgive you. Like I have.
It's okay. It's okay. I have the final answer right now because of the social media. I have access to Clubhouse.
It's gonna eventually have to come over to Android.
Maybe
it's gonna come, or we'll just have our own. I told people, they were like, "Are you on Clubhouse?" And I said, "You know what? I will not keep on Clubhouse."
When it starts with "you know what,"
yeah, I'm not getting on Clubhouse until they come. They're gonna just have to see me. I'm not gonna go buy an Apple product to get on Clubhouse.
Some people have literally done that.
I know. People are like, I have clients who are like, I went and found like a used whatever. I'm like, fine. But
hey, listen, it's awesome. It's real-time networking. It's crazy.
Look, moving on. So
moving on.
Who are the people that you serve typically? Who are your target clients?
Yeah. So again, I have the kind of the filmmaking thing going, and I've with the pandemic happening, there's less in-person video production. So I've really switched my focus to coaching and video editing for people. So my ideal client is a first-time course creating solopreneur. Somebody who's getting into the online course creation space, who has an idea or is somewhere in the process and needs help with getting published and getting promoting and getting their message out, because online courses is the future of where education is going, with colleges being so expensive and everybody being at home anyway. Like, and now I feel bad because like all these kids are in college classes and they're just on Zoom. So like you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars to sit on Zoom, like just take an online course for a couple hundred, like for way less, dear God. But no, I mean, and I realized, through the process of really studying and kind of getting my own stuff out there, that there's a big disconnect in the online course world of people just not getting the help. Like you either have to pay, $5,000 for some masterclass, or you get like a little freebie that helps you with like one thing. So opening up the coaching to kind of help people where they're at and move them along. And my whole thing is stop waiting and start creating. Really get your stuff out there, and I help with that. And then again, I can step in for the editing side of things to make it look professional. I can teach people how to film. I can and again, there's 4 phases of course creation that I kind of run through. There's phase 1 is market research, making sure that your idea has legs and has a market and has people that are willing to pay for it. Phase 2 is content, so that's the actual creation, filming, editing, all that stuff. Phase 3 is technology, so getting your course up on a platform. I really like Thinkific. I know we dived deep on that last time. Oh my God, you opened my eyes so much. That was great. Thinkific, and so getting it up, getting it published, getting your funnel going, getting your whole getting the systems ready for the traffic that you're going to push to it. And then phase 4 is promotion, and that's getting all the traffic, building it, making money with it. And promotion is really, once you're published, promotion is your full-time job. Promotion is what you do. Like, people think that you just publish a course and then you're a millionaire. No, you got to work and push it and talk about it and do that for a very long time. Anybody who's very successful in the space has been doing the promotion thing for years and years. And that's really where you get the success. And that's where I want my students to get that success as well.
I think that's amazing because we talked about I went through the process and made my first course. And
Yeah.
I think that it would have been a lot less stressful had I been like, oh, let me reach out to someone to help
Right.
me
Well,
because there
no,
was
and
definitely
it helps the learning curve, and it
yeah.
helps the time and effort and slash money that you're putting in because you don't know. And just I like to, again, I would call myself at about a level 7 of knowledge on online courses. I would only say I'm at a level 10 if I was a millionaire with it. But again, I think that is the, like, it's not even the 1% of creators. I think it's the 0.1% that are just killing it, and that's all the ads that you see. But I can help 0 through 6 in knowledge level get to where they want to go. And I think that there's a lot of, especially in the last year, man, there's just this wave and this kind of revolution of online course creators and podcasters as well, that are getting online because online is becoming the space, and it's going to, I think, stay the space for this because this is kind of where it is. No matter what's happening out in the world, you can come online and find communities, and that's where people are hanging out. And because that's where people are hanging out, that's where business is being done, and you need to be a player in the space.
Yeah, I love how you were very honest about like you're a 7. I think a lot of people think they can't be coaches or they can't mentor, they can't help other people because they're not this multi-million dollar
Right.
expert. But it's like, no, if you know more than the next person, then you are now that subject expert to them to be able to help
Correct.
them along. So that's why I tell people like I do marketing, but I'm sure there's people who are better, yes.
Right.
But I have prices that are affordable because I am like a 5, 6,
You're on
7.
your way up, and I think
Yeah,
I think that's the whole self-awareness thing. That is the
exactly.
A, knowing that you know some stuff, and B, knowing that it's okay that you don't need to be Tony Robbins to help people. Like, you can get going, you can find your way, and the process. So I'll be very transparent with what I'm doing with coaching clients right now, because I'm probably I've been in the course space for about a year now, really like seriously focusing on it, and I've been in the coaching space for probably 3 months. Because I created my first course, which was filming an online course at home, teaching people how to film a whole course and edit it on their phone at home so they can get it up. And then I realized that there's kind of more help needed than just that section, which is why I kind of established the 4 phases. And I've just been recording my coaching calls because light bulb moments will happen within that. And then I'm going to be building out essentially courses around each of the 4 phases as I go, and doing that whole process. And then eventually I'll have this awesome masterclass that I can sell for a couple thousand that covers all 4, that literally can get you from an idea to promoting and doing your thing with the course that's published. So it's just exciting. And I think it also you had mentioned something that's I'll get it back. There's a quote that I came out that I remembered. But no, it's helping people. And I think people think that you need to be like, the best in the world at your thing before you can help anybody. I say expert is only being a chapter ahead. If you just know more than the person that you're trying to help, you can help them. So there's, that's why I'm doing one-on-one coaching sessions right now. And it's fun because I can literally do custom, ideas that then, because I recorded it, I will be able to put into larger things down the line. And really, I mean, again, I've gotten more yeses from the coaching than I did from my first course. So I know there's some legs there, and I'll kind of build infrastructure around that as I go.
Yeah, that is the way to do it. You really, like you said earlier, you can't wait for perfection. You can't wait for
Right.
everything to be perfect. You have to start eventually. And sometimes just starting and learning and growing in the process is what you need to do. Because I know, like for my e-course, I like it. I'm happy. But as I learn more, I can edit, I can add,
Oh
I
yeah.
can change.
And that's the thing. It's constantly evolving.
Yeah.
That's why part of the content phase and part of the content phase is running a beta test for cheaper or free or at the same price if you want. But that really runs people through the experience, because my whole thing with being a successful course creator, and your course will evolve as it should because you'll learn more, is success means people are completing it and finishing it, not that you're selling it. success, like that can be, you're a good marketer, but being a successful course creator is that people actually get through it, get the information, and get the result that you're promising. And that is an evolving process. That's something that's fluid, and that you're going to be, if you just set it and forget it, it's not being what it could be. And if you constantly grow with it, what a cool thing for you to take people through on the journey with you.
Yeah, and I think we talked about Think If It before, but that's one of the reasons why I love it as well, because you can actually see what your students are doing and how far they're
Right.
going. And if they have questions, they can reach out to you, because it isn't just about selling it, because people who really benefit will come back time and time again and buy more
Correct.
products. So I love that you said that. Now, one of the biggest things we do on this podcast is we talk about hurdles. And that's because I think that Instagram has made entrepreneurship look so glamorous. It's like, oh,
Right.
everybody's out here winning. Everybody has $1 million in clients, and it's just amazing. But the
Every ad you
truth,
see, I
yes,
went from 0 to 7 figures in 6 months. I'm like,
yes,
congrats. I bet you had an email list of 100,000 people before that.
exactly. So I want to know from you, what's been one of your biggest hurdles as you've got
Yeah.
your business going?
I think it's really the messaging and really figuring out honestly the target market. I started with just entrepreneurs. And then I started with just course creators with filming stuff. And I think just figuring out really like how, and this is the game that everybody's playing, is how does my skill set and what I'm good at translate to something that people are willing to purchase? And I did a first whole set of courses. I went through the One Funnel Away challenge early last year, and created a bunch of stuff around video marketing. And then I was such a newbie that it didn't sell, and it was cricket. So I was like, okay, back to the drawing board. And then I changed one of the courses within the filming thing, to helping course creators, because I was just trying to teach marketing. I was like, oh no, course creators need help. Like that was a big light bulb moment at first. And then again, second light bulb moment was, oh, they need help with more than just filming. They need the whole process. And I've been studying this like crazy, and I'm a fast learner, so I can help people with the process. So I think the hurdle was again, it's the success, it's the making money thing. Like even with the film and online course at home course, I've only made about $1,200 with that, which is it's some money, but it's not going to pay rent.
Maybe once. Depends on what your rent is. Maybe once.
right. Not up in Evergreen in Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, it's just been a journey and a process. And again, just finding the market, finding the audience, while not like completely overhauling what I'm good at to like just make the money. Like I really enjoy the coaching. I'm good at it. And I'm constantly helping people with filming still. And I'm, still doing filming gigs. So that's been the hurdle. I think that's the hurdle for everybody, is really figuring out niching down enough, because I was too broad when I started. And when you're coming into it and hearing that you need to really choose a niche, and you're like, yeah, but I'm cutting off so many people. Like if I say I'm just helping first time course creating solopreneurs, that's a very specific person. At the beginning, I was so scared to go that far down into a niche. But as soon as I started doing that, I found my people, and I started to connect, and I started to help, and I started to get sales. So it really does help is really figuring out that niche, and then just going deep on that niche. So like I joined a bunch of course creating groups. I had a podcast originally called Teach Me Video Marketing. I switched the podcast to Create Your Course. I'm really going deep on the trend that I see with course creating. And it's the market is growing like crazy over the next years, and I'm kind of in my spot for the growth and just pushing on it. And I'm excited to see what the next year is going to bring, because I think it's going to be now that I figured it out. If you know who you're talking to, where to put energy in, what events to go to, all this stuff. And podcasting has been another thing to kind of push that and get into the course creating world, and it's exciting.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, and I say this a lot on this podcast, is don't be afraid to say this is who my tribe is or who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't mean you can't take everybody's money. Anybody
Right.
who comes, you can say, I'll take you.
Yeah.
But if you know, like you said, who you're talking to, then you can use the right language to attract them. If you're
Correct.
doing this huge group of people, then you may not be able to say what they need to hear to be able to get them where you want them to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I tell people, I tell
And it's simple.
everybody.
It goes to as simple as, and again, this is part of what I teach with successful video marketing, is you need to know who your audience is because you talk directly to them. So like you'll see in my videos, I go, hey, course creators and aspiring course creators. I talk literally to them, and anybody that's not that, they can still get value, because that's kind of why you watch the Gary Vee stuff, is even if it's not directly your stuff, there's nuggets in there for you. But me knowing exactly who I'm talking to, I can really reach them fast. And anybody who is not, maybe an agency owner, I'm not talking to them specifically. So over time, my people will find me because I've been, hey, this is who I'm helping. This is who I'm helping. This is who my content is for. That is super, super important. And that could be for anybody. That can, I've seen courses about knitting and like, hey, fellow knitters or aspiring knitters, like knowing that that is your audience really dictates what you're doing online.
Yes, I totally agree. And we've given a lot of nuggets here today, but I want to ask, if there is one tip you could give to a new entrepreneur, what would that tip be?
Oh, man. I would say really know that you love what you're doing. It's the reason that I think I became an entrepreneur and that so many become an entrepreneur is that we're not built for 9 to 5, and we have a passion that we're trying to follow and make some money with. But it is, especially in the last year, man, it is one of the hardest roads you can take, because you have to do everything. You do every part of the business. You're promoting, you're doing the actual client work. Like there's always something to do. So if you're getting into it just for, oh, I can be rich, and I see all, the Instagram flexes that, a lot of them are like taking bank loans out just to, get the Ferrari for a day or something. Like it's fake. And the real work is hard, and it's very fun, and it's very fulfilling, but only if you are following something that you really care about and that you can talk forever about. Like I have a shutter. Hold up, let's pause. I have a shutter tattoo on my arm because that was my commitment in the early days to, stop driving Uber and getting random, I was teaching gymnastics for a little bit there, but I had to keep giving my classes to somebody else because I would get filming gigs. And that was what I wanted to do. And again, making video content now, like I'm always making stuff, which is the core of what I enjoy doing. I'm doing some on the side. I'm doing some YouTube editing for parkour channels and some like Harley Davidson stunt riding channels. Like I'm enjoying what I do, but it is definitely a hard road. So like really knowing that that's what you want to do, and it's going to be bumpy, and it's going to be, down to the last hour of paying rent sometimes for the new month. And when you love that process and you love the idea of the impact that you can make with following, the dream of what you're doing, that's where, again, it's when you can get through that rough spot, there's no ceiling on how much you can make and the impact that you can have, like there is at a lot of regular jobs. There's only so much you can make, even at a high level of a regular job. It may be, low six figures. With this, you can break through that, but you have to figure out how to break through that. So big risk, big reward, and it's a roller coaster. And it's definitely not boring. It's not your, as much as you love The Office, it's not the Dunder Mifflin Paper Company that nobody actually enjoys working at that much. It's just a job. This is living life in 4D and all the emotions and the craziness. But the people that are, now I'm not going to say built for that because I think that's a weird way to phrase it, but like the people that can handle that and that love that, it's an amazing life.
I totally 100% agree. I remember 9 to 5s, and I tell people, I remember the anxiety of knowing driving to work on a Monday morning, being like, I hate this job.
Right. Like you have one life. Like you have one life to live. that we know of. But like right now, like, why would you, I think that's the biggest driver for me is like, God, could I like, I see people that don't like, they're like, we have this, I think, an illness in society that it's okay to hate your job. And that's just so like, I don't want to live that. I don't want to like, I don't want to dream. Because I back in the day, like when I was young, I was working at I worked at Blockbuster for a little while. I worked at a movie theater. I tried to be around movies, but it was still a 9 to 5. And I remember very specifically working for Long's Drugs back in the day in California, which is basically Walgreens. And uh, like those nights where you would dream about being at work and then you'd have to wake up and go to work and you're like, that's not fair at all. Like that's hell. That is just not a life well lived, in my opinion. That, some people are super happy with it. They like just the simplicity of it. But I think a big thing for me with why I have to be an entrepreneur is time freedom is insanely important to me. The idea that somebody could say, like, I'm going to say, hey, I want to, go on this trip with my family, or to, have this day for a rest day or a mental health day, whatever. And for somebody to say no to that and control my schedule literally makes my skin crawl. I can't handle it. Like I've been fired because I would go do it anyway. Like I worked at Johnny Rockets for a little while. It's a restaurant. And there was like this big parkour jam down in a different city. And I went because I wanted to. And now that's on me, I get, again, for being a little bit like flaky with the job. But I just knew that like, I was okay with not having it because it wasn't where I wanted to be going. And I was filming at the parkour jam. So I was working towards, my real passion and what I wanted to be doing. So, that time freedom thing is just huge for me. I'll work my ass off. I will work 80 hours a week on my time, to be able to choose that. But that's really, that's within me. It's self-awareness within me. I know I need that to live at the highest level. And anybody that is feeling held back by that, it's scary. But like once you take that jump and you really start going on the path that fulfills you and that is actually something that you're passionate about, you're happier all around. To go to a job that you're not fully happy with for your whole life just because it's work just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, it's a mindset thing. It's awareness. You have to want to make a difference in your life. You also, like you said, have to know what you're passionate about. And I think a lot of people, because of our school system, don't know what they're passionate about. I remember going to school K through 12 and being told like you're going to go to college. The only option I had was what I was going to study in college. And then I got there and was like, oh, this is whack. I don't want to.
Which again comes back to the online course thing. Our education system is very broken. It is, it's lining you up for that go to work mentality. It's not lining you up for, hey, what do you enjoy in life? Like, I think happiness should be a decider of what careers people go into. Like, what do you enjoy? And by the way, I think the go to college and just choose what you want to study there is also bullshit. Cause I'm lucky that I don't have crushing student debt. I'm very lucky. I'm privileged, I would say, on that, honestly, from my family. But like, there's so many people with hundreds of thousands of dollars in student. Yeah. Like that's not livable. That's insane. Yeah. It's so broken. And so I think, taking, and especially like, what was your degree in?
I was a psych major.
A psych major. Have you used that at all?
No, except to realize I'm crazy. That's about
that's the thing. You are in crushing student debt for not even a career you're in fully. Like you're not being a psychiatrist and having patients. Like it's insane that people do that. So I think, other than that, it's take some time. Like again, I have 2 kids, so I want them to follow what they're interested in. The way that you figure out what you're interested in is by trying a bunch of stuff. I was very lucky that I found filmmaking in high school, and that has continued to be my passion. I know 50, 60-year-olds that still are trying to find what they want to do, which is fine. But you need to do a bunch of stuff and try a bunch of different stuff out to figure that out of what you want to do. And once you can find that, then you can go deeper on it. And if it is being a doctor or something, like I honestly, I was an EMT for a while, and that's probably my second favorite thing besides filmmaking. I love being an EMT. I love being, helping the medical stuff. But again, the amount of years it would have taken me to get to a point where that paid well was so much where, being creative, the pay got, like, I just make so much more, even with less frequent work with the filming thing. So figuring out what you want to do, taking some time for that, and then investing in that. So like for me with the kids, we're going to definitely save some money to, whether it be a college fund or whether it be they are starting a company and we can help them out with, getting that going and investing in them with what they want to do. But I'm not going to be pushing the college thing. I think it is necessary, obviously, if you need like a certificate or a degree to get the job, like your classic doctor, lawyer, whatever it is, sure. But that route is just it's not necessary anymore. You don't need a college degree to get work. And I think that was the big lie. How old are you?
What now?
Yeah.
Now I'm 31. I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, so we're the same age. So this lie was told to us, I think, that if you get the degree, if you go to college, you will get a job.
Mm-hmm.
The jobs weren't there.
Not at all.
Right? Like, what the fuck? Like that didn't exist for us. I think that was the boomer generation. That was maybe the Gen X generation, but not for us. So everything about the coming up through college experience is overpriced and a lie, essentially. And that's why I think the online education space is so interesting and really the future of where things are going, because all of us are now getting a little bit older. Some of us are having kids. We have this now view of life to where you don't have to follow a specific path, because a lot of us are gig economy. We're doing our own thing. We're driving Uber. We're all this other stuff to make money. And I'm not going to be pushing the college thing on my kids at all. So it's what is like and I think we're constant educators of ourselves. We are always seeking education because even in college, I went to film school for a little bit. I didn't graduate because it's a waste of money unless you go to USC in California or NYU that's like legit, and you have like Martin Scorsese stopping by just because, but you're paying a ton for that. We are taking our education online, and I'm going to be pushing my kids to do the same thing. So that is going to be the space of the future that is more affordable. Think about being able to get a certification in something that you're actually passionate about, or just saying, hey, I went through this course and I did this, and it costs like $2,000 instead of 10 grand per class. Yeah. Literally 10 grand per class for
an
outdated professor who is reading from a textbook the entire time, and you're falling asleep because it's 10 o'clock at night. And like, I remember I was in, I'm sorry, I'm on a whole tangent here, but I think this is really, it's good for the online education. Like, this is the opposite of what is good, and what I'm, why I'm pushing this so hard is it was like studying like silent film 101. The class was like literally like, I think it was like 6 to 9 p.m. in a dark movie theater. How the fuck are you not supposed to fall asleep in that?
That was sociology. I sat there and was like, I'm going to die.
It's so boring. And then you're tested on like, none of the experience is good. So, or be on an online course with a teacher or a trainer who has your respect because they've brought you in with their marketing and shown you that they know what the hell they're talking about, and it's current, and you can do it on your own time, lesson by lesson, and finish it. That is just so much more of an effective education. And that's what we're going to be going into here as I think, societal norm as the college system fails and starts to fall apart.
Yeah, I agree, because I think like when I was in school, it was the idea of you had to be this age, you had to have done like 12th grade to do these things. But my son's 9, and he's interested in coding. If he wants to go out and get a coding certificate at 9, he can.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Until he goes to college to then get some type of certificate or degree, whatever. So I
You can do amazing things at any age now. Like if you find your thing, you can literally, I mean, some of the most incredible things, inventions recently have been by kids that are going out and doing their thing. Like I know there's an ocean cleanup being headed up by a really young person that's doing just amazing stuff. Like that's what's possible at that young age when you follow your own education path.
Exactly. But like me and you, I realized we can talk. We need to just hang out sometimes. I was like, we've gone and gone and gone. But before we go, because I see my computer saying, hurry up, because my battery's
You're
about to
good.
die.
It's Saturday
But
morning. We're fine.
I know. I do want to ask, what products and services that do you offer in your business, just in case people are interested?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do again one-on-one coaching for people that want to create a course. I also have a free kind of getting into it offer that's on my Instagram. It's on my Clubhouse. It's on it's on my all my socials, basically Facebook. That is a go from nervous to natural on camera in 4 simple steps, because I know a lot of people, including me, struggle with being on camera and getting information across an efficient way and creating good content. And that really gives you the steps to set up. I'm all about actionable tools and tactics. So this gives you legit steps and tactics that you can use to become more confident on camera and move forward with what you're making. So that's on all the socials, as well as it's filmyouronlinecourse.com/nervous to natural. So that really,
just in case.
yeah, exactly. It'd be the show notes. I'll send you the link, but yeah, it really gets you started, and I'm excited because with the coaching, I'm going to be coming up with a whole bunch of new free stuff to give out at all the different, like here's how the 4 phases, and here's how you go through each one, and like I'm going to be testing stuff out here. So follow me on it's Snowman Films or Noah Mittman on all the socials. I'm active as I can be. Really making a push for LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a super, I think it's a growing space, and especially for the business world, it's really it's what Facebook was in the early days right now. So there's the amount of organic reach you can get with LinkedIn. I'm doubling down on it. I'm going live there with my podcast, all that stuff. So come say hi, connect, and we'll chat. I'm happy to chat with anybody. Happy to do a free 30-minute consultation with anybody. Just hit me up.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much. It's always fun chatting with you. I always learn something new. I think we are kindred spirits.
Agreed.
But again, thank you. Like you said, if you're watching on YouTube, check out the little description box and you'll have all his links and information so you can be able to connect. If you're listening, it'll definitely be in the show notes so that you can connect with him as well. But guys, this has been a really amazing podcast. It always makes me excited when we get lots of feedback and knowledge from a guest. But guys, remember, I rock, you rock, we all rock, and I'm going to see you guys next time. Have a good one.